I'll kick this one off because this is one that I get asked about a lot. Point 4 is talking about Rockstar employees going back to work. Now, I'll probably clarify this for the viewers that don't know. Some viewers do know, but I used to do a bit of like editing, social media content editing for a games developer, and one of their employees left to go and work at Rockstar. So for the past 5 months, I've been picking his brains as much as I can, trying to get information about GTA 6, and I'm politely told to do one every single time. But when the news came out about the employees not being very happy about going back to work, the back to work mandate, I did a full interview with a Rockstar employee, and I think there's been a lot of misunderstanding about what the employees are complaining about. So some of these employees, about 20% of Rockstar's workforce, doesn't work anywhere near a Rockstar studio. They're employed purely on remote contracts. Some of them live 7 hours away from their nearest Rockstar studio. This return to work mandate basically gave the employees 6 weeks to figure out how they can be in the office 5 days a week.
That's just crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's mental as well. And the other thing is a lot of people are assuming that the employees are currently working 3 days a week, 9 to 5, when in reality, a lot of these employees are starting about 7, 8 in the morning, and then because of time zone differences, they're having to jump on calls at 11 p.m. at night. So they're actually working sometimes, a few Rockstar employees have complained and come out about this, saying that sometimes they're working 19, 20-hour days, 3 days a week. So the extra 2 days a week they need in the office, they're complaining because they know that's going to end up being 100-hour weeks. Even though Rockstar are saying that's not going to happen, they've said that every single release. And then, for GTA 4, there was employees leaving left, right and centre. For GTA 5, it was a similar thing. For Red Dead Redemption 2, exactly the same.
It was even worse.
Yeah, even worse. That one actually made it to mainstream media, didn't it? So yeah, what's your thoughts on the return to work situation?
I mean, employee well-being, employee health and that, look, at the end of the day, Monday to Friday, working full time, you come into the office, you do your thing, you go out. But when you're being asked to work overtime, similar to how it was in 2018, the development for Red Dead Redemption 2 at the time, working overtime, long hours, it's exhausting. It takes a toll on you mentally, physically. So, I mean, the one positive side of things is that, that the game is in the final stages of development. I think that was what Rockstar's Vice President Jen Colby said. But yes. In terms of employee well-being and the health of the employees, and them working overtime and crunching, I put that in quotations, crunching, similar to how it was with Red Dead 2, that can be scary for the employees and potentially the game, how it's going to turn out. But yeah, it's hard to say really.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% there. I think it comes down to the other thing as well, which is do you want a workforce that can't possibly share a secret because they're being howled into the office for 100 hours a week, or do you want a workforce that's happy and willing to work the extra hours at home because they can do it sat in their slippers around their family and pop out to go and see their wife and then pop back in and continue working? I think it comes down to what we're expecting from Rockstar's employees, because to be honest, this game isn't dependent on Rockstar, it's dependent on the employees. The employees are the people that make up the whole entire game and everything we're going to see. And if we get to a position where we've got a workforce of people that are absolutely exhausted, they're not enjoying working on the game, they're rushing things just to get it done so they can actually go home to their families, we're going to end up with a game that has a lot of issues. And more to the point, we're going to end up with a community of both employees and fans that fall out of love with the game. At the end of the day, this isn't just an investment piece for Take-Two Interactive. This is a passion project for a lot of the employees. So
100%. And a lot of these employees as well, these developers have been working so hard on this to get it out, and they've probably been, and some of them have probably been there for years as well, probably veterans of Rockstar, whether it be Rockstar North or San Diego, whichever Rockstar studio. It takes a toll to get out a game, a AAA game like this, the stature of GTA as a franchise and GTA 6 more specifically. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. So working overtime, crunching to get it out, that's that's going to take a lot, it's going to take a lot of energy out of them.
100%. And also, I'm not sure if I'm speaking for the audience watching this, but I feel like if the game is 6 months delayed and it's perfect, I'd rather that than a game that's been rushed to meet an early
100%.
25 deadline. Because
100%.
Cyberpunk 2077, how badly did that go?
Yeah, and that's actually a good talking point that you brought that up. Like Cyberpunk, when they rushed that out, they probably should have waited to the next gen. Well, because they initially brought it out for Xbox One and PS4, if I'm not mistaken. The pre-release hype for that game was pretty huge, but then when it launched, like obviously in the buggy state that it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Rockstar's track record does prove that they know how to avoid this, and they're the masters of getting a pretty polished game out when it is at launch. So I think they will be fine, but it still is pretty scary that if they do end up crunching at the end, and I think they'll be fine though, to be honest. But it is still something. It is a good talking point to bring up.
100%. I think one more thing to mention there as well is a lot of people have said that the reason why Rockstar are doing it are because of the security concerns. But the thing that I'd like to point out to anyone watching is that, yeah, it's a valid point, but the first big leak we had was when someone hacked their Slack messaging platform back in 2022. That could have happened from work or from home. And the second big leak, which was a couple of days before the trailer, was actually from Aaron Gardner.
Yes.
That was he's the fourth in command at Rockstar.
He's been there for ages. Like I think 2 decades. I think I'm pretty sure.
It's just shy of 20 years now, and like a lot of people are, the biggest leaks that have happened are nothing really to do with the individual employees themselves, and unless there's been a leak that we don't know about and they're protecting themselves. Of course, I get that, but some of the biggest leaks that have come from the game have been things that, whether they're working from home or not, it wouldn't have changed the outcome.